Hey everyone, good morning. James Azar here with CyberHub Engage, live on YouTube. For those watching and listening and tuning in later, you can always catch us at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for your live daily cyber briefing on our YouTube channel. So go there and subscribe. It is Thursday, January 9th, 2020. This year's already been off to a feisty start, and the headlines today promise not to disappoint. Snake ransomware is the next threat. The city of Las Vegas successfully avoids a devastating cyber attack. A new Iranian data wiper malware hits the market, and currency exchange Travelex is still held hostage by a ransomware attack. And now for your daily cyber briefing, brought to you by our friends at CyberHubUSA.co. Make sure you go check them out at cyberhubusa.co for all their amazing services, cybersecurity services for small, medium, and enterprise-sized businesses. Go to cyberhubusa.co for much more information there. We'll get started with our first story of the day. Since network administrators didn't already have enough on their plates, as we all know, I mean, they sit around just twiddling their thumbs all day, they now have to worry about a new ransomware called Snake that's targeting their networks and aiming to encrypt all of the devices that are connected to their specific network. Enterprise targeting or big game hunting ransomware are used by threat actors to infiltrate a business network, gather admin credentials, and then use post-exploitation tools to encrypt the files on all the computers and the network itself. The list of enterprise ransomware is slowly growing, and it includes famous names that we've reported on here before in CyberHub Engage, like Ryuk, BitPayer, Doppler Paymer, Sodinokibi, Maze, Mage Cortex, Locker, Goga, and now Snake joins that list. Snake ransomware was discovered by the malware hunter team last week, who shared it with Vitaly Kremes to reverse engineer and learn more about the infection itself. Based on the analysis performed by Kremes, this ransomware is written in Golang and contains a much higher level of folks, I apologize for that. Obfuscation that is commonly seen with these types of infections. I will get that right one day. The ransomware contains a level of routine obfuscation, I am being challenged today, not previously and typically seen coupled with the targeted approach. This is according to Kremes, who's the head of the Sentinel lab, in a conversation he had with Bleeping Computer. When started, Snake will remove the computer's shadow volume copies, then kill numerous processes related to SCADA systems, virtual machines, industrial control systems, remote management tools, network management software, and more. It then proceeds to encrypt the files on the device while skipping any that are located in Windows system folders and various system files. When encrypting a file, it will append a ransom 5-character string to the file extension. For example, a file named 1.doc will be encrypted and renamed 1.doc with blah 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 5 other characters at the end of it. In each file that is encrypted, the Snake ransomware will append the ECANS file marker. As you will see, we have screenshots of these that if you're watching on YouTube, you can obviously see them. If you're listening in and you want to get a hold of them, go to our Twitter page at CyberHub Engage, and you'll be able to see all of these as well. When done encrypting the computer, the ransomware will create a ransom note in the desktop folder named fixyourfiles.txt. And the ransom note contains instructions to contact a listed email address for payment instructions. The current payment instruction essentially that's being asked is the bapcrypt@ctemplar.com. That is the email address on file at the moment for this specific ransomware. They do tend to change these very, very often, meaning they will have multiple different email addresses under multiple different domains as this expands. However, at the time being, this is what we've been able to see. And obviously, you can see the ransom note and everything else on our Twitter page at CyberHub Engage, or go to our LinkedIn page. You can also subscribe there to see that as well. Before we move on to our next story, just want to let our listeners know on February 4th, we'll be doing a live podcast in Dallas, Texas. You can pre-register now on our website at cyberhubengage.com. Tickets are going to go on sale about 2 weeks before the event itself, so in the next few weeks. It's a first come, first serve basis. Get your tickets. We are planning on selling out based on pre-registrations at the moment, so make sure you do sign up and save your seat there. Once tickets go on sale, if you're a subscriber and you're part of our newsletter, you get the first chance to get tickets. Join me, Mark Hopp, the CISO at DataBank, and Patrick Benoit, a show favorite, the BISO at CBRE, and a bunch of new voices and faces that will be joining us in Dallas on February 4th for a live podcast where you get to interact with myself and my guest, you get to ask questions, get to be part of the conversation. People will hear your voice on our podcast. That's thousands and thousands of people. So make sure you go to our website, cyberhubengage.com, pre-register for Dallas. And if you want more information or you want to be a sponsor of the event, you can also contact us through our contact page at cyberhubengage.com. And we've got a good news alert, folks. That's our next story. And there aren't always good news for a lot of people that come out of the city of Las Vegas. But officials from the city of Las Vegas said they narrowly avoided a major cybersecurity incident that took place on Tuesday. According to a statement published by the city yesterday, the compromise took place on Tuesday at 4:30 a.m. in the morning. The staff said IT staff immediately detected the intrusion, took steps to protect the impacted systems. The city responded by taking several services offline, including its public website, which is still down as of today. City officials have not disclosed any details about the nature of the incident, but local press reported that it might have involved an email delivery vector, something along the lines of a business email compromise. In a subsequent statement published on Twitter on Wednesday, which you can see right now on our screen, the city confirmed it resumed full operations with all data systems functioning as normal. The city said in a statement, thanks to our software security systems and fast actions by our IT staff, we were fortunate to avoid what had the potential to be a devastating situation. The statement continues to say, we do not believe any data was lost from our systems and no personal data was taken. We are unclear as to who was responsible for the compromise, but we will continue to look for potential indications. Since this is believed to be an email-based compromise, the type of attack the city avoided can be anything from something as complex and dangerous as ransomware infections that's triggered after an employee opened a booby-trapped email to something as mundane as a phishing attempt that tried to get some credentials. All in all, Vegas officials might want to go to the casinos in their town today, put 10 grand on black and see if they win that one there as well. Well done to the city of Las Vegas. It's a good news alert. I'm always happy to talk about cybersecurity folks who are successful in their jobs. We typically have to talk about those who are struggling for once we get to report something that is good. And we move on to our next story published on ZDNet. Iranian state-sponsored hackers have developed a new strain of data wiping malware on the network of Babco, Bahrain's national oil company, this according to multiple sources. The incident took place on December 29th. The attack did not have the long-lasting effect hackers might have wanted, as only a portion of the Babco computer fleet was impacted, would the company continue to operate after the malware detonated. ZDNet learned from several sources that Babco incident is the cyber attack described in the security alert published last week by Saudi Arabia's National Cybersecurity Authority. Saudi officials sent the alert to local companies active on the energy market in an attempt to warn of impending attacks and urging companies to secure their networks. Babco's security incident came to light amid rising political tensions between the U.S. and Iran after President Trump and the U.S. military killed the world's number one terrorist, Qasem Soleimani, and no one's going to change my mind about that. Although the Babco incident does not appear to be connected to the current U.S.-Iranian political tensions, it does come to show Iran's advanced technical capabilities when it comes to launching destructive cyber attacks, something about which CISA and the U.S. Department of Homeland Security published a warning about, which we've reported about since this whole incident started last week. At the heart of the recent Babco attack is a new strain of malware named Dustman. According to analysis by Saudi Arabia's cybersecurity agency, Dustman is a so-called data wiper malware designed to delete data on infected computers once launched into execution. This is not a malware to hold your data and get money from you. This is designed to cause disruption, typical of an Iranian regime and a Soleimani-led Iranian APT. Dustman represents the third different data wiping malware linked to the Tehran regime. Iranian state-backed hackers have a long history of developing these data wiping malware. Iran's foray into data wiping malware goes back to 2012 when they developed one of the famous ones, Shamoon, also known as Distrack, and I pray for the day where we just give it one name and stick to it. A piece of malware that was responsible for wiping more than 32,000 PCs of the Saudi Aramco oil company in Saudi Arabia in one of the world's most infamous cyber attacks. 2 more Shamco versions were discovered the following years. Shamco version 2, which was used in 2016 and 17, and version 3, which was used last year in 2018. According to a report published by IBM X-Force, Iranian hackers also linked to data wiping attacks with a second different malware strain named ZeroClear, first discovered in the wild in September of last year. Per Saudi CNA officials, Dustman appears to be an upgraded and more advanced version of ZeroClear Wiper that was discovered last fall, which in turn had multiple code similarities with the original Shamoon. The main shared component between all 3 strains is the LDOS raw disk, a legitimate software toolkit for interacting with files, disks, and partitions. The 3 malware strains use different exploits and techniques to elevate initial access to admin levels, from where they unpack and launch the LDOS raw disk utility to wipe data on infected hosts. Since Dustman is considered an evolved version of ZeroClear, most of the code is the same, and Saudi CNA officials who analyzed the malware said Dustman comes with 2 important differences. The first, Dustman's destructive capability and all needed drivers and loaders are delivered in 1 executable file as opposed to 2, as was the case with ZeroClear, so less of a chance of having any issues. Dustman overwrites the volume, while ZeroClear wipes a volume by overwriting it with garbage data. Historically, prior to the Dustman deployment on December 29th, Iranian hackers used Shamoon and ZeroClear exclusively against their main competitors in the oil and gas field, but according to some people in the press, the Iranian regime are peace-seeking, nice people who really just want to be part of the international community and contribute to it. And meanwhile, General Soleimani, may he rot in hell, and his APTs were launching attacks to disrupt businesses and the oil supply in order to leverage their oil fields and their oil supply in the global marketplace. Babco is a company that's fully owned by the Bahrain government, a country that also has strains with the Tehran regime, as it is a Saudi Arabia ally and also hosts the U.S. 6th Naval Fleet. Babco appears to be the only victim of an attack with the Dustman malware, although this doesn't mean the malware was not deployed on other networks and maybe have not been executed yet. According to the CNA report, though, attackers don't seem to have planned to deploy Dustman at the time they did, but appear to have triggered the data wiping process in a last-ditch effort to hide forensic evidence after they made a series of mistakes that revealed their presence on the network. Sources who spoke with ZDNet on condition of anonymity claims the Bahrain company was compromised, in fact, during the summer. Although that has yet to be verified. The CNA report cites remote execution vulnerabilities in a VPN appliance that was disclosed in July of 2019 that may have been the entry point into the system, with full deployment happening in December, just over 10 days ago. While officials didn't blame any specific appliance, they're most likely referring to the DEFCOR report published over the summer that disclosed remote execution bugs in a wealth of enterprise-grade VPN servers such as Fortinet, PulseSecure, and Palo Alto were reported on those yesterday. Here is where our sources diverged. Some hackers exploit a vulnerability in PulseSecure servers, while others pointed the finger at Fortinet VPN servers. Either way, while there are different points of view, one has to point out that this ransomware seems to be the next big threat. It's a wiping ransomware, and it's really targeting main economic adversaries to the Iranian regime and its terror hold on the people of Iran. And to our final story of the day, something we reported on earlier this week, we go back to Travelex, my place to exchange money when I travel. Travelex, when you want to fix your reputation, call us here at CyberHub Engage. We'll sure as hell try to help you. A ransomware attack has held them hostage of the London-based firm since at least New Year's Day. The company confirmed Tuesday, after more than a week of vague updates, that it appears that the Pseudo-Nokibi gang is behind the incident. On Tuesday, the BBC first reported that the Pseudo-Nokibi gang, which also goes by the name of Revel, claims to have accessed Travelex's network 6 months ago, had downloaded and then encrypted about 5 gigabytes of sensitive customer data, including date of birth, as well as payment and credit card data. In addition, cybercriminals are asking for approximately $6 million in ransom to release the data, this according to a report by the BBC. The ongoing attack has crippled Travelex's websites in the UK, the US, and Asia. Since New Year's Day, customers have been greeted with vague messages that claims the sites are down due to planned maintenance. Travelex is a London-based foreign exchange firm. A Travelex spokesperson has not commented yet, but after nearly a week of vague customer updates, Travelex admitted on Tuesday that it had been hacked by the ransomware gang. BBC also reported on Tuesday that the criminal gang will double its demand in 2 days if it's not paid, and then has threatened to sell the data within a week if its demands are not met. According to a company update, while Travelex does not yet have a complete picture of all the data that's been encrypted, there is still no evidence to date that any data had been exfiltrated. Travelex is in discussion with the National Crime Agency and the Metropolitan Police, who are conducting their own criminal investigations, as well as its regulators across the world. The attack has meant that Travelex has been forced to resort to manual measures for carrying out its business. This has affected banks that include Tesco, HSBC, Sainsbury, and Virgin Moon, which also use the Travelex third-party currency exchange services. Over the last 7 days, Travelex's response to the ransomware attack has been criticized, although, folks, it's kind of a first for them to be dealing with this, and they have a very, very unique market position as well. So they've gone back to the old days of changing money with a piece of paper and no computers. That means calculators are very, very handy for the Travelex crew in every major airport in the world today. That's it for a daily cyber briefing today. Make sure you tune in, subscribe, give us 5 stars, share these updates with your friends. We'd love to get your feedback. If you've got any pressing stories, you can go to our Twitter page, our LinkedIn page, or our website at cyberhubengage.com and give us all the information you could possibly dream of and want. Until then, have a great rest of your day and whatever is left of tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll be back with our Friday wrap-up segment, and I will have a very, very special guest with us tomorrow from one of our new partners, Unbound. He'll be joining me, Professor Lindell, and we're going to be covering some of these stories, especially encryption being high and might on everyone's agenda today. We'll be talking to Professor Lindell tomorrow on encryption, so make sure you tune in for that. Until then, enjoy the rest of your Thursday. We'll be back with so much more tomorrow. Stay cyber safe.